OK, Jack and James went up a hill. In you come. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
You all right?
I've forgotten already. Jack, James, James, Jack?
James.
So confused.
James, Jack.
OK. Right, so you are our fantasy football gurus.
Well, we try to be anyway.
I gave you the title. You should have just said yes. Yes. Well. OK, so predictions for last week. Did you get them right?
I did pretty well, actually, but Jack over here didn't do too well.
Awkward for you, Jack.
Our joint team did well, which
yeah,
I'll
joint
take the
team did
credit for.
OK.
But apart from that, I didn't have a great week.
OK, James, what were your...
Well, I just had a very, very good team, whereas Jack didn't. So, you know, I captained the right people.
I feel like you're being real humble about this.
Aguero was the guy.
Yeah.
Didn't have Aguero, did you?
No, I didn't.
OK, well, let's have a look at your predictions and see where it all went wrong for you, Jack.
I think Boric as well is the one that really stands out for me on that graphic. 8.3 points per £1 million you spend on him. He's racking up the points as well. He's a very good shot stopper.
Sunderland don't look like they're going to keep anytime soon. And eventually you do want your clean sheet from your goalkeeper.
Absolutely, I think so. I think Ben Foster would be a better shout completely.
Really?
Yeah. The way West Brom play as well. I don't see why you wouldn't go for him.
Yeah. I think these three guys, Lallana is on fire for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Showed when he came on against United the week before, just changed the game, so he has that sort of impact. Sigurdsson's always a focal point at Swansea, as is Payet.
I think what's most important about that video clip is to see that Toby and Justin are still sharing one shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
OK, so what do you make? What do you make of all of that then? So, Jack, what happened? Come on, tell me. You're going to have to tell me.
Not a lot, really. I think it just shows fantasy football. You can never really pinpoint it too much. I mean, we always give top quality advice, don't we?
Well, we try, yeah, but I think...
I just had an off week, I think.
I mean, I wasn't here last week because I probably would have put him off tipping all of that. I was at the Chelsea game.
Oh, OK.
Well, the West Ham game, watching West Ham smash Chelsea both
on and off the pitch. Are you Chelsea or West Ham
fan? I'm West Ham.
Oh, how many seats did you tear up?
7.
He brings more in the office every week.
Yeah, it was good fun, but at the same time, if I was here, I probably wouldn't have tipped any of that.
OK, so you're going to need to tell me... Oh, OK, go on. Start with which was the worst.
Probably Pickford. He let him fall.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, he's our sub-keeper.
He made a few saves, though, didn't he?
Yeah,
so
that was the thinking behind him. I wasn't expecting him to concede 4, especially the way that Arsenal sort of went and then just had that flash of 3 goals. But no, none of them did too.
OK, so Ben Foster as well led in 4 goals, I believe. In your face, Jack's like, I just don't want to talk about this.
I really don't.
Anything else
just move
to
on
talk
to this
about?
week's
tips. Just shut up and talk about this week. OK, so the Football Fancast. Let's get up at this week's then. Right. So where to start? Shawcross.
I think the thinking behind this is they're playing West Ham, so points from all of them. Really, be very easy, won't it, Jay?
No.
No, just no. I think really they've sort of sorted out their issues from the start of the season. They're looking very strong. And you need, you know, a reliable centre half, which, you know, Shawcross, you're going to get points each week because he's played every single minute this season. Allen, I don't know what he's on this season, but he's doing unbelievably well. And I think the 2 goals at the weekend will give Boney, you'd hope, the sort of kick into the form that he showed at Swansea. And against West Ham's defence, he'll clean up.
Less of that. I just think with any fantasy football team, you need a good spine. This isn't to say that you should have a spine in your fantasy football team that has just one club all the way through, but at the same time, with Stokes uplifting form and Bonnie's now got himself on the score sheet after a couple of sort of poachers' goals, it's well worth sort of looking at some of Stokes' players and perhaps thinking, well, perhaps they could, you know, we could get them in because they're relatively cheap as well. So.
OK, so you're going for cheap. You should never buy cheap bin bags, so is this the same for players?
Well, everyone's been saying about Allen all season. He's been doing pretty well, so...
OK, now, guys, this is the first time that we've done this together.
Yeah.
Can you talk me through the points?
So we've got I think the 2 ones we always look at are the points per 90, which Joe Allen's cleaning up on, and the points per million you spend, which, again, Joe Allen's cleaning up on. I think that just proves that you don't have to spend a hell of a lot of money on fantasy football to do really well if you're sort of quite canny with your picks. A team like Stoke are perfect to look at because they started the season awfully, but going forward, you wouldn't anticipate their side to concede too many.
Okay.
But they're not going to be players that everyone's going to have in their team. So Joe Allen's proved so far this season an incredible investment.
So you can be cheeky and get a little gem, but not something that everybody else has sort of gone for.
Exactly, yeah. If you take a look at stats like this, then you're going to be fine.
I mean, look at Shawcross. I mean, he's a central defender, but he's got 2 assists already this season, which shows that, that there are points across the board at Stoke. It's just picking the right ones.
Okay, let's move on to the next slate. Zlatan replacements. Okay, talk us through.
Well, Zlatan hasn't scored for, I think, sort of 5 or 6 game weeks. Everyone keeps going, do I take him in? Do I take him out? Do I keep him for one more week? I think...
Do you think he's just doing it to mess with fantasy football? Do you think it's
maybe, yeah.
Probably, just based on his ego. I'll probably just, yeah. We'll tell everyone to take him out and then he'll score a hat-trick at the weekend. But I think we spoke about Zlatan alternatives 2 or 3 weeks ago, and now we've just gone straight in with, no, get him out.
Yeah, because, I mean, they played Burnley last week at home, had like 38 attempts on goal.
I think 34 of them were him.
Yeah, so, I mean, get him out, and he's so expensive on the game. If you get him out, you can put that value elsewhere.
Okay, all right. So, talk us through Lukaku.
Well, Lukaku scores pretty much every week. Unfortunately, he got another one against us last week. I tipped him not to score against us for once this week, but he did against West Ham.
Everyone scores against West Ham, though. I'm not sure what you're at.
Yeah, well, I mean, Lukaku especially scores against us. So I think with all 3 of those strikers, really, they're going to be on form. Kane is a wild card for us because no one's really sure whether he is going to make the North London derby the weekend.
He'll make the North London derby, I think.
But I think Pochettino's probably got him under his sleeve, ready to throw in. So, and again, I mean, all 3 of those are a lot cheaper than Ibrahimovic. So,
and Tottenham have been missing a focal point. Son came in and did really well when Kane first got injured, but the last few weeks they've been missing a focal point. So I think as soon as they get Kane back in, the tactic will be get forward, find him, give him as many chances as possible. So he's going to have a lot of time on the ball and a lot of time to pick up points this weekend and going forward as well.
I'm pretty sure he loves a goal against Arsenal as well. So if he does play...
Well, he's one of only 3 players, I believe, to have ever moved from Arsenal to Spurs. So I think he's...
Can you count him as one?
Yeah, I think he's counted.
Guys,
You think he's counted?
I know they're Arsenal fans, but...
Well, it's all right, they're quiet.
But,
they're literally going to hit me by the time they get on here, aren't they?
But he does love a goal against Arsenal, so if he does play, then count him to bag a couple and up those averages as well. So.
Okay, all right. Next slate, let's pop that on your screens. Okay, away day players. Now, explain to me, the guys explain this, but what are away day players?
It's just players that tend to score more points away from home than they do at home.
All right, so where to start?
Oh, probably the best player on there, Dusan Tadic. I think, we've always had strong form at home, but our sort of relative success for the last few seasons, we've never been defined as, they're really good at home or they're really good away. But Tadic is so far proven this season that he's doing very well away from home. Scored against you, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're clear. Everyone scores against West Ham.
Yeah, we've gone through that, haven't we? Yeah. But I think these are just ones to look at. These guys, they're all away from home this weekend.
Okay.
We spoke about Kane coming in, so Son might not get 90 minutes, but Kane coming back from injury, I think Son will definitely be on the pitch, and against a team like Arsenal, will definitely pick up some points, I think. The glares I just got there.
Okay, what about Benteke?
Well, Benteke is... I don't rate him at all, to be fair. I'm quite glad West Ham didn't sign him, but his stats prove that he's pretty good away from home this season.
He's proved you wrong then, hasn't he?
At home he's rubbish. Palace fans must be hoping that he's going to start picking up some form, repay that fee. But
he'd fit in at West Ham, wouldn't he, being rubbish at home?
Well, he missed a penalty against us, so it doesn't really
Do you want me to leave?
Yeah, we'll just argue for it.
No, I just think away from home, Benteke seems a little bit more comfortable. I don't know what that is. Everyone expects him to score against Liverpool last week, playing against his former club, didn't do it because he was at Selhurst Park. I think away this week, I'm not too sure who they're playing this week.
That's really
Which is really bad because we should know, but we don't. But
we
he's
know
away, and
we're
backing him to score. So.
And I think, like we said about Kane, he's the focal point of that team. They're very good at getting crosses in the box. They've never had anyone to finish it before.
They're like a long ball team, like West Ham were a couple of seasons ago. So.
Okay, Crystal Palace have got Burnley, so he should.
There we go, exactly.
Score, yeah. So,
but yeah, like we said with Kane, he's a focal point. He'll get a lot of crosses. He'll get a lot of chance to get headers in on goal. And And if he does get a lot of the ball, there's bonus points available there as well.
What are the? Go on, talk me through the bonus points in case anyone doesn't know.
It's an algorithm that Premier League have got. So it's basically the highest performing players over the course of that 90 minutes will get. They'll stagger it between 3 bonus points, 2 and 1.
Okay.
So if the guy scores 1 or 2 goals, he's likely to get 3.
Or even if he's just involved, if he gets the way they play, if he nods a ball down, gets a couple of assists, gets 1 assist, it just is involved in general, then he's going to be picking up the points.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. That was your away day players. Okay. Now this is the most on form team. Is this your joint?
This is our
This
team.
is our joint
This is our
team
team,
that we picked this morning.
Okay. How long did it take for you to argue out this?
Not too long, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, let's start from the top. Costa. Well, that's an obvious one.
Yeah, I think he's just he scored against us. Very good goal against us at the weekend. Strong vein of form. Everton at home, you'd sort of back them to win that. Yeah, he's just playing very well. You can't. We bought him in for, was it Ibrahimovic we bought him in for?
Yeah, I think we took Zlatan out and put Costa in. But I think the key there is we've got Costa and Lukaku. They're both playing against each other. I think that's going to be a high-scoring game anyway. Both teams are very, very good attacking-wise, so the likelihood of both those getting the score sheet is quite high, especially with Lukaku coming to Stamford Bridge against his former club. He's going to want to get the score sheet and add to his 7 goals already, so that strike force should return some points.
So they're your recommendations for up front. Okay, moving backwards.
Pulled in Gundogan this week, just off the back of he got 2 at the weekend, 2 in the week. We don't normally like to go a bit knee-jerk and just go, he's in form, get him in, but I think...
But you did this week.
We did this week. They've got Middlesbrough
He's
at home.
cheap as well. He's like
very
5.7 million.
5.6, I think, which is so... If he's getting, goals and assists every week, that's such a bargain.
Sanchez.
Doesn't stop scoring, does he?
We've spoken about it before. I think he's a midfielder and he's still classed as a midfielder in the game. He's playing in the number 9 role. I know Giroud's coming back in a bit, so that might change, but playing the number 9 role he's bound to score.
And he's another one that loves to go against Tottenham, I believe, as well.
I think,
so.
yeah.
It's going to be... Do you know what? Every time we say this, though, especially with Arsenal, it's going to be goals.
It's going to be 0-0, isn't it?
And it's going to be 0-0 because every time we've said that, it always is. It's just stalemate, and I kind of feel like both teams...
They cancel each other out, don't they?
Yeah. Okay, moving along.
Well, we put Moses in this week because he seems to have nailed down a starting role for Chelsea completely out of the blue. Because everyone thought he'd sort of be leaving the club after he had a loan spell with almost every other Premier League club. So
it's all right, it's kind of Chelsea's bag, just loan everyone.
Yeah,
Someone came on our
everyone
sofa and told us that they were all spies. So
that's the conspiracy, is it? That they
all
just
Chelsea
spy.
loanees are spies.
fair play. But I mean,
How often do they play Vitesse?
This must be the first Chelsea loanee that's gone out the last 3 or 4 seasons that's actually nailed down a starting spot. He's playing as a defender, which means that he's listed as a midfielder in the game, so there's not much points in it. But he's racking up the assists, racking up the goals as well. So.
He was very impressive against Saints at the weekend.
There's a lot of chance of bonus
made
points
some very good runs.
Yeah.
And really, Koeman's sorted out Everton's defence to an extent.
What a job he's doing, though.
Can you not, Lord Koeman?
You two
Really?
are way too sensitive.
No, I just don't like the bloke.
How? How can you not like
Because I'm
him?
a Southampton fan.
Yeah, I know, but other than that, he's a blooming genius at the moment.
He's a good manager.
Chinley's a little bit strong, isn't
He's
he?
just a snake.
Wow.
Oh, that's a little bit strong as well.
No, it's not.
Blimey.
Said he was going to stay and then left for a smaller club.
That he's now smashing it with. All right, move on, Lallana.
Well, I'll leave you that one too, because you wanted to keep him in, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I just rate him. I think he's fitted into Klopp's philosophy really well. I beat him up last week and he didn't pick up many points.
Okay.
But they've got Watford this weekend. You can never really tell who's going to turn up from Watford. They'll either pull off a blinder like they did against United, or it'll be a ball draw, or they'll just roll over and lose. So I'm hoping from Lallana's point of view and the points point of view that it's the latter of those three. And really, they're sort of turning Anfield into the scary place to go that it should be under Klopp. So I'd bag him to pick up a few points.
Okay, Bellerin.
As long as he starts.
If he starts, I mean, he's got a bit of a black mark over his name at the moment, but if he starts, then he's got a higher percentage points per 90 value as well. So if Arsenal turn it on at the Emirates, which they have done quite a lot this season, barring 1 or 2 games, I think even though they are playing in the North London derby against Tottenham, he's going to rack up some points, whether that's assists or just general a really, really good performance. So you've got to back him.
Okay, Walker.
Similar story to
Same
Bellerin,
reason.
really. His I think is it his points per million or points per 90? He's through the roof. I think he's Tottenham's top point scorer. He's absolutely smashing it in terms of fantasy football this season. He's in the dream team. So there's no real argument to be taking him out, whoever they're playing at the moment.
Loves a point away from home as well, I think.
He does.
I think his average is quite high.
Okay, nearly there. Smith.
Similar story to the other two. I think we've emphasised over weeks and weeks and weeks that the defence, there's no real need to be picking centre halves, just because they're not as prolific in terms of points. Smith loves to get forward. They're at home, so we'll be doing it a lot. They'll be pressing Sunderland, and he'll either pop up with a screamer or a couple of assists.
Sunderland are rubbish as well, so it should be all right. It should be all right.
Expert analysis.
I love the way
Sunderland are
we're not allowed
rubbish.
to terrorise West Ham, but you were just flat out Sunderland are literally rubbish. Okay, Pickford. He was saving.
Although Sunderland being rubbish, he's kind of saved them from being even worse this season. I think he's a fantastic keeper. I don't think he'll be there for much longer beyond the season. So he's a great shot stopper. He's going to face a lot of shots this weekend, which means he'll get a lot of points in terms of saves.
Okay. Now we've got Mark Blackburn's team, so let's get Mark Blackburn's team on the screens for you. He wants to know who he makes captain.
Oh, who's he got?
Similar to you, so Lukaku and Costa, but then nothing else is the same as
Nathan Redmond.
Sanchez.
Definitely not. What are you talking about?
Nathan Redmond and Van Dijk are very wise picks. Well
We're
done.
on here as experts.
Well done,
mate.
Mark.
You're not trying to mug people up. I would have either Costa or Sanchez.
Just a quick one. In the office today, I got told by James to take Payet out of the team.
Ooh,
So
James.
if you want to talk about that, maybe you should take Payet out.
I just think he's quite expensive for what he hasn't really done this season. So
Okay.
And
apart
they're
from
at home,
one
so
of the
they're gonna
goals, he's not
lose.
really done much. So yeah, but then against Stoke this weekend, we could no. But in terms of captain, Costa or Sanchez.
Okay.
I'd lump with Costa. I think the game against Tottenham for Arsenal's going to be so on edge that you can't quite call it. Whereas Chelsea at home to Everton at the moment, I think Costa.
Okay, now let's get Raj's team on. He wants to know where he can improve. I think he means in his fantasy football, not in life. Or just
Take out any claret and blue.
Antonio. Interesting.
Antonio was. I had Antonio in earlier in the season. That was a very good pick. He was when he was playing, not as a right back. When he got pushed further forward, he played as a striker at the weekend, didn't he?
Has he gone off the boil?
I don't think he's. I mean, Bilic has kind of used him as a utility across the entire pitch at the moment. He's not a striker. He's not a right back, but he's okay as a wing back, and that's where he scored most of his goals. So unless he's playing wing back again this season, which I don't think he will, I don't think he's going to replicate the form he had earlier in the season. So he might be one to consider. I'm not saying I'm hoping he starts scoring goals again, but I don't think he's going to.
Really?
I don't think he will.
We just need to check Raj, you taking notes? Yeah, he's on his computer, he's taking notes as we speak. He's writing it down. Okay, any other changes that you'd make there?
Gone quite heavy on the strikers. Austin's a great pick, obviously. But maybe take a hit on either Costa or Aguero. Get maybe someone from a sort of mid-table team in and maybe spend a bit more money at the back. And then the keepers as well.
Between like Van Dijk or something like that.
What, someone better? Yeah, Van Dijk.
Okay, well, before you two fall out, let's get our fan jewel on. So let's get our first one on the screens. Okay, Chelsea under Conte, 4 consecutive clean sheets, 11 goals scored in the last 4.
I think this is, what we're saying with captain Costa, this just proves they're incredible. I think October, they lost 1 game, which was a blip against a very poor West Ham team. Probably distracted by the home fans lobbing stuff.
Did you guys come in together? Are you planning on leaving together?
Oh, sorry,
This is
it's
us
all right.
every week. This is us every week.
We just
Just get
use
used
this.
to it.
We work in an office together every day each week, so we just use this sort of slot
I hear you're
to vent
Toby's
the
favourite
anger.
married couple. I see
There
that
you go.
explains the dress code.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just bat that one away.
They don't either. They're not even replying anymore. They're like, yep, Yep.
I did warn him I was wearing navy blue, he just chose to ignore
You
me.
actually phoned him beforehand to tell him what
He
you were
texted me.
wearing.
He
Texted
texted
him
me.
this morning, he
But I
just
just
went-
didn't look at my phone, so
Yeah, whatever.
I looked at my phone when I was on the
Navy blue.
bus,
Yeah.
and I was
Quick,
like,
Going
Mum,
through the
where's
drawers.
my jumper?
yeah.
Not that I'm implying he lives at home or anything.
Back to football.
Yeah.
Back to FanDuel.
No, I think, they're just, they in the Premier League, they played 4, won 4, didn't concede a single goal for the whole month, and just scored in abundance. So Chelsea's it's rare we advise to put 3 players from the same team in a fantasy team, but if you're going to do it at the moment, it's got to be Chelsea.
And with FanDuel as well, it's different to Fantasy Premier League because if you're putting a striker in, he might be a little bit more expensive, but he gets 5 points for a shot on target and then 15 points for a goal. So technically 20 points for every goal. So if you know you can afford to get lots of cost you in your team, in your FanDuel team, then you've got a chance of winning some money as well. Because
And you're picking up points for drawing fouls as well, which Costa's brilliant at because he just gets on there and winds everyone up. So he's
rack up the points.
Nailed on pick for FanDuel this weekend.
Okay, let's get our next pick on for FanDuel. It's the Ultimate 11. Talk me through this.
So this is all the top performers
Oh, this was last week,
from the
was
last
it?
game
Okay.
week. Yeah. So they're ones that, as long as they've got the right fixtures to go to, then they're ones to consider. I think James MacArthur is one that if you had him in your team, you did very well. He scored 2 headers, which just nobody...
James MacArthur.
Nobody
it's
could have
happening,
seen coming.
isn't it?
It's ridiculous. But the likes of Gundogan, like we talked about, very in form. And what we tend to see is a lot of Liverpool on these every week. Not so much the defence.
That's because they've
Even
not
those
really worked that one out yet. They're getting there.
But then at the back, you've got 3 Liverpool defenders this week. So maybe it's something they're slowly sorting out. But the likes of Coutinho, they're involved. The way Klopp plays with that sort of fluid front 4, they're involved all over the place. So
Well, I think that defence is the way it is because all 3 of them scored, I believe, against Palace.
Yeah.
Which obviously helps, but again, they've all got 20 points each just from scoring.
Okay.
But then across the board as well, you've got Coutinho. He's wrecking assists up all season, and then Mata for United is one of the most underrated United players this season in both FanDuel and Fantasy Premier League.
And then it shows with the sort of cheaper keeper that
I like that cheaper keeper.
cheaper keeper
Yeah, thought about
might
it.
carry on using that. Tom Heaton's always going to be involved, and he has had a brilliant season so far. No matter how Burnley do, he's impressing week in, week out.
Well, he gets a lot of action. So.
Exactly. So it just proves that you don't have to spend a lot to rack up the points.
You get points per save as well. So if you've got someone you know is going to be really busy in between the sticks, then
like Adrian.
not Adrian. Don't pick Adrian. He concedes too many.
Okay, and just up the front, Bonnie and Aguero.
Well, Bonnie's up there because he's finally decided to start scoring. I always said that if he nabs a couple of sort of like poachers' goals, then he'll start scoring every week. So he's definitely up there for that. But then Aguero, I mean, not much you can say about Aguero other than the fact that he's world class. So he's going to be in there most weeks, I think.